This is a story that I think a lot of people are following very closely. Not sure everyone necessarily understands it. Over the last 48 hours or so, we have seen a massive surge in the stock price of GameStop. Explain to us what is happening here.
All right, so take a breath with me, because you never see basically a failing video game company see their stock go up 1,600% in 2 weeks, but that's exactly what we have. In the last year, we saw this surge of new traders, individual traders, day traders. Think about it. Lots of people were home. They're on screens. We have our disposable income, and we can't spend it socializing or going on trips. And from there, we saw a whole bunch of people become interested in the markets. Where did they communicate and convene? On these social media platforms. Reddit. One Reddit chat room, Wall Street Bets, found a few months ago that there were some very big positions in the market, hedge funds, institutional investors who were shorting GameStop, meaning they were betting against it. When that usually happens, those are the big guys. The rest of us, well, we get out of the way because you don't want to get run over. But this time was different. It's extraordinary. It's a cultural story, really. We saw en masse all of these individual traders start to buy up GameStop, buy it up, and that raises the price. And when that happens, it creates a short squeeze in the stock. So all of those hedge funds, the big guys, then are forced to cover their positions and buy the stock at a higher price, which raises it even more. What's amazing about this is short selling isn't new, short squeezes aren't new, but we have never seen a group of individuals take action like this that actually affects the markets. It's gotten worse today because now you're having more issues with trading this thing, and these platforms have had to freeze, but we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, so to that point, and that's what I want to pick up on, the platforms for a moment. Within the last 24 hours, trading platforms, I think the ones most people know, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, they've restricted their users' ability to purchase new shares of companies like GameStop and the movie chain company AMC. What do you make of these platforms restricting their users' ability? Because people are now saying, and at least crying foul, when it's being, as you mentioned, the average trader who's spending time at home squeezing the big hedge fund managers.
Absolutely. And I understand on its face how much that would anger people. I get that. And in general, you're right. This system is designed for the big guys. If you and I wanted to suddenly, invest in a hot IPO, we don't have access to it. It always goes to the big institutions. So that's part of what's fueling this. But today, it obviously looks terrible on its face. You've got lawmakers that are furious because Robinhood and other platforms are no longer allowing people to buy stock. They're only allowing people to sell it. So that certainly looks like, well, they're just trying to hook up the hedge funds and hurt the little guy. But what it most likely is the following. And take a breath with me. Those short sellers sold so much stock, they actually sold more than stock is available. Most likely 150% of the shares that are available. Now here's the problem. When they all go to cover their shorts yesterday, those trades need to settle. When you settle a trade, you have to find those shares and put them next to the person's name who bought them. And there's not enough shares out there. They don't exist. And when that happens, the trade fails, and the clearinghouse says, I'm going to jack your margin. And most likely these platforms are in a situation where their margins would get raised so much, they'll go out of business if they keep trying to trade in the next day. So this is about a system failure. I know people don't want to hear it. All that technical stuff just makes them angry. No doubt lawmakers are furious, and they want to have hearings about this. The problem is going to most likely be that the system is designed terribly, the system gets abused, and they need to make changes.
You mentioned lawmakers, and I wanted to put up this tweet from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman. A few people have been weighing in on this, and she said that point that, here's what she said. Got to admit, it's really something to see Wall Streeters with a long history of treating our economy as a casino complain about a message board of posters also treating the market as a casino. You use the phrase, this is a cultural story, and I find that very interesting because are we entering a new era where groups organized on places like Reddit, legally in the open, nothing shady about what they're doing, have an impact and have an ability to shape Wall Street?
Well, listen, it's extraordinary that it's happening because this movement is similar to the movement we saw with individuals and their $10 donations thrusting Bernie Sanders to become a key player in the center of establishment politics. We saw similar groups create social change movements. But now you're looking at this populist movement come on and say, hey, capitalism, I'm knocking on your door. So while we don't even know how this GameStop trade is going to work out, we can say that this movement is already successful at rocking the establishment. And the thing I would say to lawmakers here who are irate, they're going to have to remember they're the ones who set the rules. If they'd like to remember how angry everybody was after 2008 when bankers didn't go to jail. And I get that. It was such bad behavior. But the reason they didn't go to jail is because technically no one broke the law. So the laws need to be changed. The regulations need to be changed because we know the way Wall Street operates. You're going to set the rules and they're going to spend all their time figuring out a way to work the loopholes. And then the lawmakers need to spend their time closing those loopholes. So this may be a call to action to close some more loopholes.
And I was going to say, we heard Jen Psaki, the spokesperson for the White House, get asked about it. She deferred to the SEC. So I'm sure we'll be hearing about this from regulators, the White House, and other officials in the coming days.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.